Our last inductees will be our 2012 and 2013 wrestling team. There's two things here. I've known Steve Marinetti for a long time. We're starting to, we used to be the young guys in here. Now I used to be able to read this stuff. You know, I have to highlight this stuff now. We're getting older. But Steve and I have been here a while, and we share this gym together. You know, the basketball's over here, and a lot of times wrestling's on the other side of the curtain, and we play dueling music against each other, and usually wrestling's got a bigger boombox than basketball, so they usually win. So Metallica beats all the hip-hop stuff that we're playing over here. But Steve and I have been really good friends. It's great to see this team go in. There's only 5 of these manners up here, and you got one of them. That's an unbelievable team. They had the 2013 national runner-up, and they were the 2013 CCIW champions. They had 3 CCIW champions in Yusuf, Joe, and Mike, and they had 5 All-Americans on that team. They had 2 individual NCAA champions with Joe Rao and Mike Benefield, and they were the most successful wrestling team that this school's ever seen. We've been here a long time. They also have the 2013 Division III National Coach of the Year in Steve Marinetti. Steve, come up and talk about your team.
First off, congratulations to all the inductees. I got to watch all of you compete, and it's amazing to see you guys again. Also, thank you so much to Dr. Khanna. He has cured 1,614 of our wrestlers over the course of 20 years, and we could not have gotten through a season without you. So congratulations, and thank you, Dr. Khanna. You know, I was debating between, do I give a speech or do I just get all you guys in the back and we'll put you through a good workout? 5 minutes hand fighting, warm up, John, you take care of it, and then we'll get going. But you know, when Glenn told me we were getting inducted, this team, obviously I was really excited. When he said that we got to invite our full team, everybody on the roster, I mean, I was elated, because we know it takes a whole team to make all this stuff happen. And you know, this whole team ended up 16-1 that year, second at the national duels, winning the conference, having an unbelievable nationals, and it took that whole team. So it's such a blessing to see all my guys show up here. It was also so fun kind of looking back at that year and just kind of remembering all those things. For those of you that don't know, Joe Rao is in Serbia right now at the World Championships. He is going to be wrestling at 3:30 this morning in his next bout. So if our night goes as planned, we should be able to see it right when we're about done with the night. So, but unfortunately, he can't come tonight. A good excuse. But, you know, just looking back at that, and it was so unfortunate that Joe couldn't come, because 80% of the crazy stories we seem to have involve Joe. Whether he's comes out of the gas station on our trip, he bought a $60 10-foot white tiger because it was an impulse buy and he had to get it, brought it on the bus. Another stop, he bought a mace, an actual medieval mace, and that was a horrible thing for Joe Rao to have because all our guys were in danger the whole time. But it was a crazy year, and it was really an amazing year. You know, looking back at, you know, starting out the Concordia Open and having, you know, 2 guys, Joe Rao and Mikey Benefield, who ended up being national champs that year, were at the same weight class and met in the finals that year. So that was the start of our year, and a lot of teams were like, wow, just seeing the caliber of these guys is so cool. You know, then in this very gym, we had our El Hanky, and we had a bunch of injuries, and the team championship came down to the very last match, where Danny Vargas, who's right in the back there, won the last match of the night for us to win that title. Having missing a bunch of guys, but having the guys that we did have just put together a great tournament. So never forget that. Going to the national duels, thinking back at our duel against Wartburg, where we just saw what that team culture was, and it was such a cool culture. Our guys were having fun. They were laughing, they were rolling around. Wartburg was so serious, and we came out there loose and ready to wrestle. And then we had one of our guys here, Ryan Early, was the outstanding wrestler of the entire national duels, a huge honor. CCIWs, we had 6 champs that year. We had Miguel, Early, Yusuf, Danny Balderas, Joe Rao, and Mikey Benefield. You know, and then a really tough regional that we hosted right here, you know, where we were able to get 5 guys out. You know, one of the harder memories is one of our guys here, Jack Lewis, had just a heartbreaking match that was going to get him qualified for the national tournaments, and I can still remember sitting there and you know, try to help him through that tough time. And then finally going to nationals, and you know, you guys put together a near perfect 2 days. I'm pretty sure Kush and Young, you guys were undefeated on the weekend on guys you coached. But you know, we had Miguel, who was unseeded, placed 5th. We had Dalton place 7th and get a pin, you know, for huge team points. Right Early pinning the number 1 seed in the wrestlebacks to get it, to give us a chance to be placing in that tournament. You know, Mikey getting the most balls award at the national tournaments. Joe winning it, and John Young, which we haven't said, was the assistant coach of the year that year. So put together just pretty much an amazing season. And lastly, I just want to thank our Hall of Fame coaches that are over in that table. So something Glenn said to me a couple years ago was he noticed, like, we had a bunch of coaches that have been here for nearly decades. And, you know, I never really thought about it. You just go year by year by year, but I have been lucky enough to have a bunch of guys that have you know, stuck with me in this program for such a long time and helped build this team. So, you know, we have Rick Lamas and Matt Kuchert over there, who were my first class here. They won our first conference title. You know, Rick coached with us for a bunch of years until he became a, you know, big time UFC guy and all of a sudden had some other things to do. But Matt Kuchert has been with me now for, you know, nearly 2 decades. You know, helping shape these guys and making a huge difference. Chris Musha was an alumni here, and he has also been with me nearly 20 years, and again, you know, shaping our guys and our team. And then John Young, who, you know, just retired 2 years ago, but he was with me for 20 years. So I've been incredibly fortunate to have a bunch of guys that have been with us the whole time. By the way, Mikey, I'm pretty sure you owe John an apology for, you know, having him get up at 5 a.m. in New Orleans to make weight that day. So maybe after this whole thing, give him an apology. So I just want to thank our guys that came and our coaches that came. It's just a huge honor for all of us, and it's so great to see you guys. So thank you so much.
The 2012-2013 Elmhurst wrestling team.